Rain hammered the pavement like bullets. The city drowned under a gray sky. Streets empty, except for the glow of neon signs bleeding through the downpour. Sebastian Lancaster stared through the tinted window of his Mercedes, fingers drumming the leather steering wheel. Another pointless gala. Another night of fake smiles and marriage proposals from women who wanted his money more than they wanted him. He was about to drive away when he saw her. A figure slumped against the brick wall, rain-soaked and motionless. Dark hair plastered to her face, clothes torn and muddy. Sebastian's jaw tightened. He didn't do this. He didn't stop for strangers. He had a billion-dollar empire to run, mergers to close, competitors to crush. But his hand moved to the door handle anyway. The rain soaked through his suit in seconds. He approached her, each step deliberate, controlled. She didn't move. "Hey," his voice cut through the storm. "You alive?" Her eyelids fluttered. Slowly, painfully, she looked up. Sebastian froze. Her eyes, dark, endless, haunted. They held something he recognized. Survival, rage. The look of someone who had clawed through hell and barely made it out. "Don't," she whispered, voice raw. "Don't call anyone." He crouched down, suit ruined, rain dripping from his hair. "You're dying out here. Better than being found." Her fingers clutched his wrist with surprising strength. "Please." Sebastian studied her. Every instinct screamed to walk away. Get back in the car. Call his assistant. Let someone else handle this mess. But those eyes wouldn't let him go. "Get up." He stood extending his hand. "You're coming with me." She hesitated, searching his face for something. Trust, maybe. Or just the absence of cruelty. Finally, she took his hand. Her legs gave out immediately. Sebastian caught her before she hit the ground, lifting her easily. She weighed nothing. Just bones and wet clothes and desperation. Inside the car, she collapsed against the leather seat, shivering violently. Sebastian stripped off his jacket and draped it over her. "What's your name?" he asked. She closed her eyes. "Aurora. Aurora. What?" "Just Aurora."
Oh.
Her voice faded. "I don't remember anything else." Sebastian watched her through the rearview mirror as his driver pulled away from the curb. No memory, no family, no identity. Perfect. He pulled out his phone, typing a message to his assistant. Then he looked at the unconscious woman in his back seat. "You might have just saved my life," he murmured. "And you don't even know it yet." The car disappeared into the rain-soaked night, carrying two strangers toward a fate neither of them could escape. Aurora woke to silk sheets and chandelier light. For a moment, she thought she was dead. Then pain rushed back. Hunger, cold, the memory of rain and rough pavement. She bolted upright, heart hammering. The room was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Furniture that probably cost more than most people made in a year. Everything pristine, cold, expensive. The door opened. Sebastian walked in wearing a tailored suit that fit him like armor. His dark eyes swept over her, assessing, calculating. "Ash! You've been asleep for 18 hours, he said. Aurora pulled the blanket closer. "Where am I?" "My penthouse." He moved to the window, hands in his pockets. "You're safe. For now. Why did you help me?" Sebastian turned and something flickered across his face. Something almost human. "I'm still figuring that out." Silence stretched between them. Outside, the city hummed with life neither of them truly belonged to. "I need something from you," Sebastian finally said. Aurora's stomach dropped. She'd heard those words before. In alleyways. In shelters. Nothing came free. "What?" Her voice was flat, empty. He pulled out a thick folder, tossing it onto the bed. A business arrangement. Aurora opened it. Contract, terms, money. Her hands trembled as she read. "You want me to be your fake girlfriend?" For 3 months, Sebastian's expression remained carved from stone. "My grandfather is dying. He wants to see me settled before he passes. If I don't show up to his birthday gala with someone on my arm, I inherit nothing. The company goes to my cousin, who will destroy everything my family built. Aurora looked up at him. You have billions of dollars. You could hire anyone. I need someone with nothing to lose. His eyes locked onto hers. Someone who won't get attached. Someone who will disappear when this is over. The words hit like a slap. Someone disposable. And what do I get? Aurora asked. A new identity. Clean records. Enough money to start over anywhere you want. He paused. And a job at Lancaster Corporation. You'll work in finance. Aurora's breath caught. Finance. The word sent electricity through her brain. Numbers, spreadsheets, analysis. Why did that feel so familiar? I don't remember my past, she said quietly. What if I'm terrible at it? Then you'll learn. Sebastian moved closer, towering over her. Or you can go back to the streets. Your choice. Aurora stared at the contract. 3 months of pretending to love a man made of ice. 3 months of playing dress-up in a world that would never truly accept her. But 3 months of safety, food, warmth, a chance. She grabbed the pen. I have conditions, she said. Sebastian raised an eyebrow. You're not exactly in a position to negotiate. I don't want to just be decoration. Aurora met his gaze without flinching. I want real work. Real responsibility. I want to prove I'm more than whatever you found on that street corner. Something shifted in Sebastian's expression. Respect, maybe, or curiosity. Deal. Aurora signed her name. The ink looked like blood against the white paper. Sebastian took the contract, and for a brief second, their fingers touched. Aurora felt something shoot through her. Recognition, danger, something that tasted like fate. Welcome to your new life, Aurora. Sebastian's smile was sharp as broken glass. Try not to fall in love with me. It never ends well. He walked out, leaving her alone in the massive room. Aurora looked down at her hands. They were shaking, but not from fear, from something far more dangerous. The Lancaster Corporation building rose like a glass fortress. Against the morning sky, Aurora stood in the lobby wearing clothes that cost more than she could comprehend. Designer heels, tailored dress, hair styled by professionals who'd gasped at the transformation, but none of it felt new. It felt like remembering. Miss Aurora? A young woman approached, smiling nervously. I'm Claire, from finance. I'll show you to your desk. Aurora followed her through corridors that hummed with ambition and coffee. Every step felt heavier. Every corner sparked something in her mind. Déjà vu wrapped around her throat. She knew this place. Claire handed her a file. These quarterly reports need analysis before the board meeting. Most people take days, but Mr. Lancaster wants it by end of day. So don't stress if you can't finish. Aurora opened the file. Numbers flooded the pages. Complex calculations. Market projections. Risk assessments. Her hand moved before her brain caught up. She grabbed a pen and started marking inconsistencies. Error in column B, miscalculation in the derivative model. This merger would cost them millions if they didn't adjust the timeline. Claire's coffee cup clattered to the desk. Her voice, pitched high. You haven't even worked here an hour. Aurora looked up, pen frozen in her hand. I don't know, but she did know. Somewhere deep in the locked rooms of her memory, she knew exactly what she was doing. That evening, Sebastian found her on the rooftop terrace of the penthouse. City lights sprawled below them like fallen stars. You made Claire cry, he said, leaning against the railing. She thought you were some kind of genius. I'm not. Aurora stared at her hands. I just looked at the numbers and I knew. Like I'd done it 1,000 times before. Sebastian turned to face her. What else do you remember? Nothing. Just fragments, feelings. She looked up at him. Who was I, Sebastian, before I ended up on those streets? He studied her with those calculating eyes. Does it matter? Yes, her voice broke. Because every time I walk into that building, I feel like I'm coming home. And that terrifies me. Sebastian moved closer. Close enough that she could smell his cologne, feel the heat radiating from him. Maybe you should stop looking for answers, he said quietly. The past can destroy people, Aurora. Sometimes it's better to let it stay buried. Is that what you did? She challenged. Bury your past? His jaw tightened. For a moment, she saw something raw behind the ice. Pain, loss, rage. My mother killed herself when I was 12. The words came out like glass shards. My father drank himself to death 2 years later. I built this empire from the ruins they left behind. So yes, I buried my past. And I've survived because of it. Aurora's breath caught. Sebastian, I'm sorry. Don't be. Pity is useless. Only power matters. Before she could respond, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his entire body went rigid. What? Aurora asked. My grandfather wants to meet you. Sebastian's voice turned cold. Tomorrow night? The family estate. Already? He's dying faster than expected. Sebastian pocketed his phone. And he's not the only one who wants to meet you. My cousin Marcus will be there. He's been waiting for me to fail my entire life. Aurora felt ice in her veins. What if I mess this up? Sebastian grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. You won't. Because if you do, we both lose everything. His hands were warm, strong, desperate, and in his eyes, she saw something that made her heart stop. Fear Sebastian Lancaster. The untouchable CEO was afraid. There's something you're not telling me, Aurora whispered. He released her, stepping back like she'd burned him. There are a lot of things I'm not telling you, like what? Sebastian looked at her for a long moment. The city lights caught the sharp angles of his face, making him look like some dark angel, teetering on the edge of falling. Like the fact that when I saw you on that street corner, he said quietly. I'd just gotten a call that someone was hunting for a missing heiress. A woman who disappeared 3 years ago after her family's private jet crashed. Everyone assumed she was dead. Aurora's world tilted. And tonight, Sebastian continued, voice like broken promises, I got another call. They found DNA evidence. They know she's alive. He pulled out his phone and showed her a photo. Aurora stared at the screen. It was her face. Younger, healthier, wearing expensive jewelry. Standing next to an older man in front of a corporate logo she recognized, Heiress International. You're Aurora Harris, Sebastian said. Sole heir to a $10 billion fortune. And every vulture in this city is looking for you. Aurora couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Couldn't be. Why didn't you tell me? Her voice shattered. 'Cause if I did, you'd disappear. And I need you. Sebastian's eyes burned into hers. My grandfather's birthday gala. Your uncle will be there. Richard Harris. He's been running your company since you vanished. If he sees you, if he knows you're alive, everything changes. You used me. Aurora backed away. This whole time you knew who I was, and you used me. Yes, no apology. No shame, because I'm fighting for my legacy, and you're fighting for yours. We're the same, Aurora, survivors. She wanted to scream, to run, to tear apart everything he'd built with her bare hands, but instead she asked the question that would break them both. Ow. Did you cause the crash? Did you make me disappear? Sebastian's face went dead. No, but I know who did. Thunder cracked across the sky. Rain started to fall, just like the night they met. Who? Aurora demanded. Sebastian looked at her like he was watching something beautiful die. Your uncle, he said. Richard Harris tried to kill you. The Harris family estate loomed like a mausoleum. Aurora stood in front of the mirror, barely recognizing herself. Emerald dress. Diamond earrings. Hair swept into an elegant knot. She looked like the heiress in that photograph. She looked like someone who'd been dead for 3 years. Ready? Sebastian appeared behind her, devastatingly handsome in his tuxedo. No. Aurora's hands trembled. I'm about to face the man who tried to murder me, who probably thinks he's succeeded. Sebastian's reflection met hers in the mirror. You don't have to do this. We can walk away. Forget the inheritance. Forget everything and let him win. Fire blazed in Aurora's chest. He took 3 years of my life. He left me with nothing. No memories. No family. No identity. I want him to see me. I want him to know he failed. Sebastian's hand found hers. Then let's make him regret ever crossing a heiress. The ballroom glittered with old money and older secrets. Crystal chandeliers. String quartet. Guests in designer clothes sipping. Champagne that costs more than some people's rent. Sebastian's grandfather sat in a wheelchair near the fireplace. Oxygen tubes in his nose, but eyes sharp as razors.
Sebastian.
The old man's voice crackled. Is this her? Grandfather, meet Aurora. Sebastian's hand pressed against Aurora's lower back. Protective, possessive, my girlfriend. The old man studied her with eyes that had built empires and destroyed competitors. You're different from the others. Less eager to please. I don't need to please anyone, Aurora said quietly. I just need to be honest. A smile ghosted across the old man's lips. I like her. Don't screw this up, boy. And Aurora saw him. Richard Harris stood across the ballroom, champagne glass frozen halfway to his lips. His face drained of color, he knew. Aurora. Her uncle's voice cut through the music. The room went silent. Aurora Harris? She turned to face him. 3 years of rage crystallized into this moment. Hello, Uncle Richard. He crossed the ballroom in long strides, champagne forgotten. My God, we thought you were dead. The crash, the search teams, we found nothing. Where have you been? Aurora watched him. The false concern. The calculated shock, the way his eyes darted to the exits. I don't remember much, she lied. Just waking up in a hospital with no ID, no memory? It took 3 years to piece together who I was. Richard grabbed her shoulders. This is a miracle. Your company, your inheritance, everything is waiting for you. We have to get you home immediately. She's not going anywhere. Sebastian stepped between them, voice lethal. Aurora is with me. Richard's expression shifted. Confusion melted into something darker. Sebastian Lancaster. Course, I should have known you'd be involved in this. Involved in what? Aurora asked. Nothing. Richard forced a smile. I'm just surprised. Lancaster Corporation and Harris International have been competitors for decades. What are the odds my niece would end up with my biggest rival? Fate works in mysterious ways, Sebastian said coldly. The tension crackled like live wire. Aurora, we need to talk. Richard's grip tightened. Privately. There are things about your inheritance you don't understand. So then explain them here. Aurora pulled away from him. In front of everyone, Richard's mask slipped. Just for a second, she saw it. Murder in his eyes. The same look he must have worn when he sabotaged that plane.
Fine.
Richard's voice dropped to ice. Your father left you controlling interest in Harris International. 51%. I've been managing it in your absence, but now that you're back, legally, it all reverts to you. Unless you're declared mentally incompetent due to memory loss. Aurora's blood went cold. You're threatening me. I'm protecting family assets. Richard smiled like a shark. You've been homeless for 3 years, Aurora. Living on streets? No memories. No stability. The board will never accept you. But if you sign power of attorney over to me, just temporarily, I can ease the transition. Keep the company safe. You mean keep it for yourself? Aurora's voice shook with fury. You tried to kill me once. What's stopping you from trying again? The ballroom erupted in gasps and whispers. Richard's face went purple. That's slander. I loved your father. I mourned you. You're lying. Aurora stepped forward. I remember now. Not everything, but enough. The plane. The argument we had before takeoff. You were furious that my father gave me controlling interest. You said I was too young, too naive. You said you'd fix it, Aurora. You're confused. Richard looked around at the staring crowd. The trauma from the accident has affected your mind. Then why did you stop searching after 2 weeks? Sebastian pulled out his phone, showing a document. I had my investigators pull the records. The search and rescue operation was called off after 14 days. You told them Aurora was certainly dead. That continuing was a waste of resources. Richard's eyes flickered with panic. That was a difficult decision, but the experts said no one could have survived. Or you made sure I wouldn't. Aurora felt pieces clicking into place. The pilot. He worked for you. You had him sabotage the plane, didn't you? But I survived. I crawled out of the wreckage before it exploded. I spent 3 years with no memory because of the head trauma. And you've been stealing my company ever since. The room held its breath. Richard's hand moved inside his jacket. Sebastian reacted instantly, shoving Aurora behind him. But Richard didn't pull out a weapon. He pulled out his phone. You want to accuse me? Richard's voice turned to venom. Then let's talk about your boyfriend. Sebastian, tell her what you did 6 months ago. Sebastian went rigid. Tell her about the merger deal. Richard smiled viciously. Lancaster Corporation tried to acquire Harris International. My board rejected it. But you didn't give up, did you? You started looking for leverage? And then, conveniently, you found Aurora, the missing heiress. The key to everything. Aurora's heart stopped. Sebastian? He didn't turn around. Didn't look at her. You used her, Richard continued. You knew if you brought her back, if you controlled her, you could force the merger. Take over Harris International through her. That's why you picked her up off the street. That's why you made her your girlfriend. She was never a person to you. She was a business acquisition. That's not true. Sebastian's voice was hollow, isn't it? Richard tilted his head. Show her the documents. The ones your lawyers drew up. The prenuptial agreement that would give Lancaster Corporation joint control of Harris International if you married her. Aurora felt the world crumbling. Sebastian, look at me. Slowly he turned, and she saw it in his eyes. Guilt. Aurora, I can explain. His voice cracked. You knew. Tears blurred her vision. From the beginning, you knew who I was. You knew about the company. You planned all of this. Yes. The word came out like a death sentence. But that's not why I'm here now. That's not why I'm with you, liar. Aurora backed away. You're just like him. Both of you wanted to use me, control me, steal what's mine. Sebastian reached for her. Aurora, please. She slapped his hand away. Don't touch me. The ballroom doors burst open. Men in suits flooded in. Federal agents. Police. Richard Harris, you're under arrest for attempted murder and corporate fraud. The lead agent pulled out handcuffs. We have testimony from the pilot's widow. He confessed everything before he died. Richard's face twisted. This is a setup. Sebastian planned this. He and Aurora are working together. Actually, Aurora said quietly, I called them. 2 hours ago, after Sebastian told me everything, the pilot's confession, the sabotage plane, the embezzlement. I wanted to face you first. To see if you'd confess? But you couldn't even do that, could you? Richard lunged at her. Sebastian caught him mid-stride, slamming him against the wall. You don't touch her, Sebastian growled. Ever. Agents dragged Richard away, his screams echoing through the ballroom. Silence descended. Aurora stood alone in the center of the room, surrounded by strangers. Her uncle in handcuffs, her past in ruins. Her heart shattered. Sebastian approached slowly, hands raised like she was a wounded animal. Aurora, I need you to listen to me. His voice broke. Yes, I found you on purpose. Yes, I knew who you were. Yes, I wanted your company. But somewhere between the rain and right now, everything changed. You changed me, words. Aurora's tears fell. That's all they are. How do I believe anything you say? You don't. Sebastian's eyes glistened. But I'm asking anyway. Give me a chance to prove I'm more than the bastard who saved you for profit. Aurora looked at him. The man who'd rescued her, used her, protected her, betrayed her, the man she'd fallen for despite every warning. I can't. She turned away. I won't. Then I'll make a deal. Sebastian's voice turned desperate. The merger, the prenup, all of it. I'll destroy every document. I'll walk away from Lancaster Corporation, if that's what it takes. I'll give you everything. Aurora stopped. Why? Because you matter more. Sebastian's confession hung in the air like a prayer. More than money. More than legacy. More than everything I've built. Losing you would destroy me worse than losing it all. Aurora turned back. Saw the truth written across his face, but truth wasn't enough. I need time, she whispered. To figure out who I am without you. To reclaim my life. To heal? Sebastian nodded, jaw tight. How much time? I don't know. Aurora walked toward the exit, heels clicking against marble. Maybe forever. She left him standing in the ballroom, surrounded by the wreckage of their choices. And somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled across the sky. 6 months later, rain hammered the streets. Just like the night everything began, Aurora stood at the window of her new office, watching the city drown. Heiress International was hers now. Every floor, every employee, every decision. She'd rebuilt the company from her uncle's corruption, restructured the board, and proven she was more than a traumatized heiress. She'd become what her father always believed she could be. But the victory tasted like ash. Her assistant knocked softly. Miss Harris, there's someone here to see you. Aurora didn't turn from the window. I'm not taking meetings today. He said you'd say that. Her assistant hesitated. He also said to tell you that Lancaster Corporation just filed for bankruptcy. Aurora spun around. What? But her assistant was already gone? Sebastian stood in the doorway. He looked like hell. Suit rumpled, shadows under his eyes, hair uncombed. But those dark eyes still burned with the same intensity that had first caught her on that rain-soaked street. You shouldn't be here, Aurora said. I know. Sebastian stepped inside, closing the door behind him. But I had to see you one more time. Is it true? Your company? Gone. He smiled bitterly. Turns out when you destroy every merger document and refuse to play dirty, your competitors eat you alive. My board voted me out 3 weeks ago. Lancaster Corporation was liquidated yesterday. Aurora's heart cracked. Sebastian, I never wanted that. I did. He moved closer. Every choice, every consequence. It was worth it to prove I'm not the man who found you for profit. I'm the man who would burn his empire down rather than lose you. Stop! Aurora's voice broke. You can't say things like that. Why not? It's true. Sebastian stood in front of her now, close enough to touch. I've spent 6 months trying to forget you. I dated other women, drowned myself in work, pretended I was fine. But every rainy night, I go back to that street corner where I found you, and I remember the way you looked at me. Like I was capable of being more than a monster. You're not a monster. Aurora's tears fell. You're just a man who's been hurt so badly he forgot how to trust anyone, including himself. Then teach me. Sebastian's hand cupped her face. Teach me how to be the man you deserve, because I am so damn tired of existing without you. You didn't just save my life that night, Aurora. You gave it meaning. Aurora closed her eyes, feeling his warmth. 6 months of distance. 6 months of healing. 6 months of trying to hate him, and she couldn't. I have conditions, she whispered. Anything. No more secrets. No more games. If we do this, we do it as equals. 2 broken people trying to be whole together. Sebastian smiled through his tears. I can work with that. You have to let me save you this time. Aurora opened her eyes. Lancaster Corporation. I'm buying it, restructuring it, and giving you back your legacy. As a gift, not a merger, not a business deal. A gift from someone who loves you despite every reason not to. Sebastian's breath caught. Aurora, I can't let you do that. You don't have a choice. She pressed her hand against his chest, feeling his heart race. That's what people do when they love someone. They sacrifice. They give. They choose each other over pride. You love me? His voice cracked. Unfortunately, Aurora laughed through her tears. I've tried not to. God knows I've tried. But apparently my heart is as stubborn as you are. Sebastian pulled her close, foreheads touching. I love you. Not the heiress. Not the woman I found on the street. You. The stubborn, brilliant, impossible woman who made me believe I could be better. Their lips met in the space between apology and forgiveness. The kiss tasted like rain and redemption, like two people who'd survived the worst and chosen each other anyway. When they finally pulled apart, Aurora smiled. So what happens now? Sebastian looked at her like she was the only thing in the world that mattered. Now we build something new. Together. No lies, no games. Just to people who are tired of surviving alone. Partners. Aurora extended her hand. Sebastian took it, pulling her close instead of shaking it. Partners in everything. Outside, the rain began to slow. The city lights flickered to life, painting the skyline in gold. And somewhere in the distance, thunder faded into silence. Aurora leaned against Sebastian's chest, listening to his heartbeat. It matched hers perfectly. "Do you ever think about that night?" she asked quietly. "The night you found me?" "Every day." Sebastian's arms tightened around her. "I was driving away from my grandfather's party, angry, empty, ready to spend another night alone in that hollow penthouse. And then I saw you." "What made you stop?" He was quiet for a long moment. "Your eyes. Even unconscious, even dying, you were still fighting. And I realized I'd stopped fighting years ago. I'd just been going through the motions. Building an empire, but forgetting to live." Aurora turned in his arms. "And now? Now I'm fighting for something that matters." He kissed her forehead. "You taught me that some things are worth more than power. Worth more than legacy. Worth more than safety? Like what?" "Love." The word came out like a confession, like a prayer. "Real, messy, impossible love." Aurora smiled. "We're going to drive each other crazy. Probably." Sebastian grinned. "But at least we'll drive each other crazy together." She kissed him again, sealing a promise neither of them could have imagined 6 months ago. Two strangers brought together by rain and fate. Two broken people who learned that sometimes the best way to heal is to let someone else see your scars. "Thank you," Aurora whispered against his lips. "For what?" "For stopping that night. For seeing me when I was invisible. For making me remember that I was always worth saving." "Ah!" Sebastian pulled back, cupping her face in both hands. "You saved yourself, Aurora. I just gave you a place to land while you did it." The rain stopped completely. Through the window, a break in the clouds revealed stars, and in that moment, standing in the office, she'd reclaimed. In the arms of the man who'd found her in the darkness, Aurora finally understood what it meant to come home. Not to a place, not to a legacy, not to a billion-dollar empire, but to a person who chose her every single day. "Let's go," Sebastian said suddenly. "Where?" He smiled, that rare, real smile that transformed his entire face. "That street corner. Where it all began. I want to stand there with you. Not as strangers, but as two people who made it through hell and chose each other on the other side." Aurora took his hand. "Let's go home first. Get out of these corporate clothes. And then we'll go back to where it started." "Deal." They left the office together, hand in hand. Two survivors, two fighters. Two people who'd learned that sometimes the greatest love stories begin in the darkest places. And as they stepped into the elevator, Aurora realized something. She finally remembered everything. The crash, the pain, the 3 years of wandering. But more importantly, she remembered who she was before all of it. A woman who'd always been strong, who'd always been capable, who'd always been enough. The elevator doors closed, reflecting their intertwined silhouettes, and somewhere in the building, in offices filled with people who'd once doubted her, Aurora's legacy was just beginning, not as a victim, not as a survivor, but as a woman who'd faced the worst and chosen love anyway. The end.